Hello, grade fours. So today in health, we are going to be talking about healthy and unhealthy relationships and how it's completely normal to have conflict in a healthy relationship. It is how we handle and react to that conflict that makes that relationship either healthy or unhealthy. Okay? So let's first talk about the word conflict. We talked about it last class a little bit, but just for a review, conflict, when I say conflict, it means when you get in a fight or a disagreement with somebody, okay? I even bet you that you got into some type of conflict today, whether it was with your parent or with a sibling, where you were either fighting about something or you didn't agree, okay? But it's how you deal with that conflict, okay? That's what we're going to be talking about, the appropriate ways to deal with conflict. Okay, so we're going to watch a little cute video that demonstrates conflict. Okay, now remember when we're watching a video, our eyes are on the screen and we're paying attention. Okay, let's get started.
Hello, I'm Robin, and this is the Toy Box.
Alrighty, boys and girls, so that was a really cute video to show conflict. There was also one strategy they talked about that we talked about last class that you can use to resolve conflict. So I want you to think about that strategy in your heads. I'll give you a few minutes and I want you to say it out loud. What strategy did they use in the video to resolve the conflict? What strategy? On the count of three, let's all say it together. 3, 2, 1. Sharing, okay? That was the strategy they used. They shared to resolve their conflict, okay? Which is a super good strategy. So, we're going to practice. I am going to read the sentence and I want you to think about what would be my first reaction? What would be my flipped lid reaction, okay? What would be my first reaction? And then I want you to think, after I've had some time to calm down, what would be an appropriate reaction? Okay, what would be something that would keep it a healthy relationship, but still tell the other person that, I don't agree with them, or that's not okay. Okay, so I'm going to read it. You told a secret to your best friend, and she told it to the whole class. Okay, so think. What would be your first reaction or your flipping lid reaction, okay? What would be your first reaction? Think about it. Okay? I know my first reaction would be like, what? What do you mean? You told my secret to everybody? That's not cool. That's not a good friend. Okay? But I know that before I react, I need to take 3 deep breaths. Okay, so everybody, let's take a deep breath together. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Last time, breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Oh, grade fours, I feel so much better. I feel like I can respond to this situation now rather than react. Okay? So then rather than getting mad at my best friend, I might say, like that wasn't very nice of you. In fact, that really hurt my feelings. And then you could ask them why they did that. Okay? I also want you to think about your responses. What would your response be if your best friend told your whole class your secret? Okay? So I want you to think about that. Okay? Let's go on to another scenario. I'm going to read it out loud. Okay? Your classmate didn't invite you to their birthday party. Whew. This happens all the time, boys and girls. So what would be your flipping lid reaction? Okay? What would be your flipping lid reaction? Think about it. Okay? And say it out loud. What would be your flipping lid reaction? Okay? I know for me, this happened to me a lot in elementary school. Or I shouldn't say a lot, but it's happened to me before in elementary school. And I got really upset. I didn't talk to my friends. I ignored everybody, okay? And then I'd go home and I would cry, which isn't cool, right? But after I breathe 3 times, so let's breathe 3 times in through our nose, out through our mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. After I've had time to calm down, how would I react or respond to this situation? So after you've had time to calm down, how would you respond to your best friend? Would you do what I did and just ignore them and go home and cry every night? Or what could you do that is appropriate? What could you do in this type of conflict that's appropriate? Okay? I want you to think about it, and then I want you to say it out loud. Okay? Now, one way or one thing that you could do to respond to your best friend or classmate is you could just ask them. Go up to them and ask them, why didn't you invite me to your birthday party? They might have an actual explanation. Like, for instance, maybe their parents were only letting them to choose 2 people from their class to invite, right? So maybe they had a limit on who they could invite. Or maybe they didn't know that you wanted to be invited, okay? And then maybe you'll get an invite after. So that's why it's really, really important, boys and girls, to communicate with those people. Communicate with your classmates. Communicate with your best friends, okay? Super, super important, especially when you have some type of conflict, okay? Now, conflict is normal. It is normal to have conflict or make mistakes in healthy relationships. Like we said, though, it's how we deal with those mistakes and deal with those conflicts that make it either a healthy relationship or an unhealthy relationship, okay? Now, a good rule of thumb, now what that means is a good rule to go by or rule to follow is to think before we react to a situation. Now, I'm sure your parents or other teachers have told you, think before you speak. Think about what you're going to say before you speak. I was told this all the time, okay? to think about your thoughts, calm down, and then respond to a situation, okay? So we talked about the 3 strategies that we could do when we are in some type of conflict or when we need to calm down before we respond to a situation, okay? So the first one we talked about was the 3 deep breaths, and we do this all the time in class. The second is coming up with a compromise. Now, remember last class when we talked about compromising, and I gave the example of somebody wants to play soccer and they were planning to play soccer at recess, and then their friends at recess were like, I don't really feel like playing soccer. I'm going to go play basketball. And we talked about how a compromise could be, okay, you promised that we would play soccer, so how about we play soccer for 5 minutes and then we can go and play basketball for 5 minutes? Or this recess we'll play soccer and then next recess we'll play basketball. Okay, so that's an example of compromising. Now, the third one, which we talk about all the time, is communicating how you feel. Okay, it's really, really good to go up to somebody or go up to the person that hurt your feelings or you have a conflict with and say, I can statements or I am statements. So I am upset that you said this because, okay? It's really good to just be open with one another and then come up with a solution, okay? So to end our health class, we are going to do what is called the hot chocolate breathing exercise. Okay, so I want you all to pick up a hot cocoa mug, okay? I want you to hold it out in front of you just like this. And I want you to bring it close to your face and take a deep breath in, smelling the chocolatey goodness, okay? 1, 2, 3, let's breathe in that chocolatey goodness. Good, now exhale through your mouth. Like you're blowing the steam off the hot chocolate, okay? Let's breathe in the chocolatey goodness. And exhale and blow the steam off the hot chocolate. One more time, breathe in the chocolatey goodness. And exhale and blow the steam off the chocolate. Good, now take a sip of your hot chocolate. All right, grade 4s. That ends our health lesson. I hope you had fun.